Flavor family, what is up? It is Bobby and Art back at the grocery store to do a huge frozen food review. Is it possible to eat healthy in the frozen food section? Well, we're about to find out here at Walmart. And you know what? Color me slightly optimistic because I feel there's so many good things at the grocery store now, there might be some glimmers of hope. And it's very easy, right? Even though a lot of bad stuff is in the frozen food section, I'm going to teach you how to read the label to weed out the good ones from the bad ones. This video is really about the quality of the oil they're using. Are they using too much sodium? And is it full of additives and preservatives? You know, the stuff we want to avoid. Once you see that, it's super easy. So before we head back there, you're going to want to go ahead and join the Flav City community. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button. You know what? Better yet, there's a bell icon right below this video. Go ahead and enable all notifications because every single week, Art and I are rocking out 4 videos on our channels, 2 videos from the grocery stores on the weekend, 2 cooking videos during the week, including a live stream, usually Wednesday or Friday. We make a recipe from start to finish. We hang out with the community. It's a good old time, and you do not want to miss out. Let's start, you guys, with frozen seafood. There's actually no problem buying frozen seafood because when you look at the seafood in the seafood case at the grocery store, it all came in frozen anyway. The problem is when it gets frozen and thawed multiple times, that's when it messes up the texture. So if I'm talking about frozen shrimp, what ideally you want to look for is wild caught, not farm raised and local. These are Gulf of Mexico shrimp, very high quality, very close to us, the mainland, and they're wild caught. Farm raised is okay, and actually I want to do a whole video about farm raised versus wild seafood. Do you guys want to see that? The problem is you have to know where the farm raised come from because sometimes there's really good farm raised and there's really bad farm raised. So if I look at these colossal shrimp, which is really funny because words like colossal and jumbo mean nothing when it comes to shrimp. It's all about the number. These are 1622, meaning they're 16 to 22 to a pound. So don't pay any attention to these ridiculous marketing terms. But I look where these come from. These come from Vietnam. Vietnam is known to have pretty shady farming practices. What do I mean by that? Well, they overcrowd the farming pools. They feed them really bad feed. There's excess poop in there. Thailand is much better. Ecuador is really good for shrimp. When it comes to salmon, actually, Norway is fantastic. So I'll talk about that more if I do the seafood review. But look what they have here at Walmart. They actually have wild Alaskan salmon here. They have wild caught mahi and Alaskan halibut. So really good options that I have no problem buying and keeping in my freezer. The only thing I'd recommend not doing when it comes to frozen seafood is buying the cooked ones. So these... Is that for us? Okay. Don't buy the frozen ones because by the time you thaw them out and reheat them, they're going to get rubbery as can be. So always buy the fresh ones and cook them yourself. Now, sitting right next to it is this brand. Raise your hand. Let's be honest. Does anyone use Morningstar Farms? They're kind of like what I consider the OG or like the basic vegetarian frozen food. And we can do a lot better. I'm going to show you that in a minute. But if I pick up the Morningstar Meat Lovers Veggie Burger, you got to love that. We see the second ingredient is vegetable oil consisting of corn, canola, and sunflower. Is it expeller pressed? No. Is it non-GMO? No, see, it only says non-GMO soy, so it could be GMO corn oil. But more importantly, you're going to see a lot of frozen stuff have the less desirable oils, the ones that like the canola oil, the corn oil. Why don't we like those? As soon as this video is done, watch my cooking oils video I did at Costco with Art last year. When you have conventional oils like canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil, they're highly processed and highly refined at high heat. Not only does that alter the fatty acid, but they use a chemical called hexane to extract 100% of the oil from the plant. You don't want that. You want to look for expeller pressed. When we find it later on, I'll tell you why that's better. Then we look in here also, we have corn starch, which is not non-GMO, a decent amount of soy, and something called yeast extract. Yeast extract is another word for MSG. It's a chemically made flavor enhancer that makes your taste buds and your brain get very excited. So I would avoid that. And so we're going to put that back. We can definitely find better. And then just for example, if I pick up the Morningstar sausage patties, once again, these are vegan. They're plant-based, which is Art's favorite because they're not sausages. Art, they're what?
Not meat.
Not meat, exactly. Got laundry list of ingredients. This is always a red flag. When it's this big, loaded with bad oils, tons of preservatives, caramel coloring, which is a known carcinogen. They do that to make it look brown, but it's really bad news. So this is bad. So we can do a lot better. So if you're eating that, you probably want to upgrade. Let's see what we can do better than that. Amy. Amy, whoever you are, high five, because you are killing it, you guys. I could not believe the ingredients here. So I'm gonna pick up Amy's Indian palak paneer. And we see she's using organic basmati rice. That's actually very important because rice is high in arsenic, especially conventional rice. Always go organic, so Amy's got it there. Check out the rest of the ingredients. Organic kidney beans. She's using expeller pressed high oleic safflower oil. Expeller pressed, good. High oleic, even better. That's a heart healthy oil. When you add the expeller pressed to that, it's fantastic. Spices, turmeric, fantastic. I can pick up like any one of these. Look, I'm going to pick up the enchilada verde, organic brown rice. Everything's super clean. Once again, using that high oleic expeller pressed oil. Very, very impressive. Even you guys, Amy's burritos here. Like, I expected to pick this up and be kind of scared what I saw in here. Compared to other ones, this is miles and miles better. All of the ingredients, once again, are 100% real. She's using the right oil. This is fantastic. So Amy's burritos, rockin'. Same thing with the bowls, fantastic. Now we go to the bowls, and I see down here a brand called Evolve. And they have good packaging and everything. And I'm a little disappointed in these ingredients. When I came here the other day for research, this is the butternut squash and ravioli. And it says in the ricotta cheese, they're using carrageenan. Why are they doing that? So many brands are moving away from carrageenan, and a lot of people I know avoid carrageenan because it's a seaweed emulsifier. The problem is it could wreak havoc on your stomach and your intestines. And I know plenty of people who have eliminated carrageenan from their diet, and they feel a lot better. Especially if you have a sensitive GI or tummy, stay away from that. And they're also using yeast extract, another word for MSG. And we look at the oil, and it's funny because they're actually using extra virgin olive oil, which is really good, but also using canola oil, which is really bad. And this one, the chicken tikka masala, looks like it is cleaner. They're using extra virgin olive oil. I wish it was organic chicken, but I can't find that anywhere here. So just read the ingredients because for the most part, Evolve could be better. And when I say it could be better, I'm going to lead by example with this one right here. Saffron Road. Number one, love the name. Number two, love, love, love the ingredients, you guys. This is crazy. The chicken biryani has ridiculous ingredients. We look at this here, expeller pressed sunflower oil. I wish the rice was organic, but it's not. But everything else is real. Whole ingredients, fenugreek leaves, really, really impressive. No bad ingredients in here. This is fantastic. And for the chicken pad thai, Saffron Road, see just a few ingredients, not too many, right? Very impressive. So Saffron Road has got it going on. That's awesome. And then this is a brand I hadn't heard before, but Performance Kitchen is the only brand, the only frozen brand anywhere using, drumroll please, avocado oil. Holy shnikes, avocado oil is one of my favorite oils because it's a high heat oil, the most heart healthy oil, one of the most heart healthy oils, and it lowers your bad cholesterol, raises the good one. So this one is actually very clean, the Mighty Masala and Greens, but I did see a couple of the other ones do have natural flavors, so I would be careful with that. And then right above it, very interesting company if you're low carb. It's called Real Good, and everything they make is super low carb. So chicken Alfredo, 2 cheese style Italian dish, very low carb, and I like all the ingredients, but every single one of their products ends with sunflower oil that's non-expeller pressed and natural flavorings. But everything else here is really good. It's not organic chicken or organic dairy, which is okay. I'm going to sacrifice a little bit of quality per se when I'm talking frozen. But for low carb, even though it has those 2 ingredients, it's still really good and unlike anything else in the frozen section. Now we start getting pretty exciting, especially considering this is frozen food land. Actually, crazy exciting. Applegate. Applegate crushes everything they do, including frozen. Any of their sausages here, chicken and sage, chicken and apple, the ingredient list is minute, which is exactly what you want to see. This is chicken, water, touch of cane sugar, salt, spices, that's it. Applegate is not organic in this variety, but it's humanely raised, which is really important when it comes to poultry. Otherwise, they can have terrible living conditions. Notice how it said sugar was in the actual ingredient list, but when I look on the nutritional facts, it says 0 grams of sugar. Anytime you see that, that's because the USDA says if you have less than a certain amount per serving, you can call it 0 or free of that ingredient, which is kind of misleading, but just wanted you to know that. So any of these are really good, including the turkey. We have the chicken and maple breakfast sausages here. Once again, Well, actually, this is interesting. The maple flavor has natural maple flavoring, which is a natural flavoring, so I would stay away from that. And then if we go over one more, chicken nuggets, right? Very interesting. I'll show you a side by side. This is the gluten-free chicken breast tenders from Applegate, and they're using chicken breast. It's gluten-free because they're using rice flour, expeller pressed canola oil, and really no other bad ingredients here. Even the regular chicken strips, which are organic, right? Very important. Organic means they eat non-GMO grain, something I'm very passionate in. The rest of the ingredients here are very, very clean. So what's the difference between that and Tyson Naturals? Because if I look at the ingredients on Tyson Naturals, it's a pretty small list, and it's actually pretty clean. The only difference is they're using chicken that is not certified humane. This is not organic like this one, and they're using vegetable oil that is not expeller pressed, natural flavors, which they're not using at Applegate. So the fact that they're using a hard, healthier oil is a big difference in my book. So I would go with Applegate all day, every day. Going down to breakfast land here. Kodiak cakes, very popular because they make the high protein pancake mixes. The problem is, even though it's a whole grain, it's not organic. So 100% whole grain wheat and oat flour, right? If it's not organic, I would put it back. Wheat is heavily sprayed with glyphosate and Roundup, and conventional oats rank very high for glyphosate levels. Glyphosate is the active ingredient in Roundup, which is why you always, in my opinion, have to buy organic oats, because they don't use organic grains for the Kodiak. I would actually put them back. And then this is by far the best gluten-free bread in the land. It's Canyon Bakehouse. They keep it in the freezer section because there's no preservatives. It's made, you guys, with whole grains that are gluten-free, teff, sorghum, amaranth, a little bit of tapioca flour, and extra virgin olive oil. I've never seen another bread made with extra virgin olive oil. It is $5.46 a loaf. It is cheaper than Whole Foods, but that is absolutely fantastic. Now we come over here. We're going to talk about frozen pizzas. But first, Cali Power, very cool company. Now they're making new chick on the block covered tenders here. So these are tenders with dried cauliflower and brown rice on there. Very cool. They do have a little bit of natural flavoring, but overall, not that bad. Not as good as Applegate, though. Bone broth. A lot of people are very excited about bone broth. It's becoming more and more available at the grocery store. I make it all the time if you follow me on Instagram. The thing is, even a price like this of $7.98 for Bonafide, which is a really good quality organic bone broth with grass-fed bones for the beef, this is 24 ounces for $8. To make a gallon of this, we're talking about $40. I calculated the price at home. To make a gallon of grass-fed bone broth in the Instant Pot, it costs $12 to $13. So if you want to make it at home, go to the Flay City Instagram, navigate over to the Save Story for bone broth. I'll show you exactly how to make it, especially in the winter months. It helps your immune system stay stronger. It has collagen, which is really good for your skin. Very good stuff. Now, frozen pizza. By far, the best frozen pizza in this entire store, and I'm so glad they have it, is Capello's. It's also a grain-free option, but this is the highest quality pizza with the best next-level ingredients. You guys, look at these ingredients. The crust is made with cage-free eggs, almond flour, coconut milk, extra virgin olive oil, and psyllium husk. The toppings are super-duper clean. I know it's grain-free, but even if you're not grain-free, the flavor and texture of this is unbelievable. They also make sweet potato gnocchi and fresh spaghetti that is gluten-free, which I tried it. It's pricey, but it's so good. Also, the only grain-free tortillas they have in Walmart are Siete. They're on sale right now. I'll take that $1 challah any day. These are amazing. I made taquitos in the air fryer with these on stories the other night. Fan-freaking-tastic, you guys. Quest, if you're low-carb or keto, this is one of your only keto pizza options because it only has 6 grams of net carbs per serving. They do use a couple questionable ingredients in here. They do have natural flavorings, and they're not using the highest quality oil, but sometimes I give a little leeway when it's a low-carb item like this, so because it's your only option. So this is still okay. Now, if you're going regular pizza, I would say you have 2 options. Cali Power is one of the cleanest pizzas out there, and it's a cauliflower-based crust, but it's not low carb. It does also have, cornstarch and brown rice flour in there too, but it's really, really high-quality pizza. If you want a low-carb option, they don't have the pizza. They just have the crust. But cauliflower, I know it's confusing. Cauliflower, low-carb. Cauliflower, not low-carb. This is amazing, you guys. It's just cauliflower, mozzarella, egg whites, and herbs and seasoning. Make your own pizza with this. It is grain-free. It is gluten-free. It is keto. It is fantastic. It's not paleo because they use the mozzarella. But Amy's, once again, Amy, who are you, Amy? I want to shake your hand, Amy, give you a big old hug because this is crazy, you guys. Amy's Pizzas, once again, do not have a laundry list of ingredients. Organic wheat flour, so it's not sprayed with Roundup. Everything else is fantastic. Expeller pressed high oleic oil again. This is how you do it. So once again, if you're looking at frozen foods, look what kind of oil they're using. Make sure they're not using too many additives or preservatives, and make sure the sodium's not too high. Amy fits the bill every single darn time. Unbelievable, you guys. But if you compare that to any art, take a look at this wall here. This wall of pizzas here. Any of the ones I just mentioned right now, beat the pants out of it. I think of something I grew up with. Do you remember this from back in the day, Art? Red Baron pizza. We used to crush this. My parents bought it for me, and they didn't know any better, right? But if you look at the ingredients, there's way more ingredients on here. This is not the high-quality frozen pizza you want. I think it's so exciting. We're living in a time now where you can get grain-free, gluten-free, paleo pizza crust. We didn't have this 15 to 10 years ago. This is brand new, next-level stuff, and they have it at Walmart, you guys. It is available everywhere. So cool. Let's go over some veggie burgers, which have been a popular request lately. I'm going to start with the OG, Boca Burgers. Been around a long time here, and it's not something I would recommend, in my opinion, because we look at the ingredients. They're using corn oil. Is it non-GMO? No. So that's strike one. Then we get pretty sketchy, you guys. We got that caramel coloring. We got natural flavors. Look what it says here. It says, contains less than 2% of the following. And a person asked me on Instagram the other day, which, by the way, if you're not following me on the Flav City Instagram, hop on over there. Every night we make stories. We hang out. My dad comes for dinner. Rose Honey, my daughter, joins us in the kitchen. It's really fun. So they asked me, hey, if it says less than 2%, is it really a big deal? And the answer is yes, because something like natural flavors is a concentrated dose. Caramel coloring, concentrated dose. They would never put a lot in there. So they're concentrated and a little bit adds up. So I would avoid that. This one is not so good. This guy's doing it right. Dr. Prager. Good for you, Dr. Prager. Ingredient list, way shorter. That's great. And we look what's in here. Black beans, complex carbs. Quinoa, complex carbs. Expeller pressed canola oil. Good for you. I would hope like a doctor like Dr. Prager would use even better oil like avocado oil, olive oil. Dr. Prager, I don't think you're using expeller pressed canola oil at home. And I don't think you're using soy flour, but that's okay. Still, everything else in here is real. There's no filler in here. It is non-GMO, so this is fantastic. Now, Dr. Prager's also making these spinach little kid frozen treats here. These remind me actually of one we saw at Aldi that had really good ingredients too. And we look at it, it's just a few ingredients. Spinach, potatoes, onions, expeller pressed canola oil, non-GMO, egg whites, arrowroot, very, very good. They have the same version though at Aldi that is fantastic. Now, if you're a Beyond Meat fan, I did a whole video reviewing the Beyond Burger. Beyond Burger and Beyond Meat and stuff like this is not veggie burgers. It's a meat substitute. And they do a mighty fine job, especially with the new version 2.0. They got rid of a couple of the fillers and preservatives I didn't like. The thing is, I don't recommend buying these. These are the crumbles that are feisty crumbles, and there's another one that's not feisty, it's something else. The problem is, this one has ingredients the other ones don't have. It has canola oil, sunflower oil, and maltodextrin and yeast extract. So way more preservatives, way lower quality oils. Buy the pack, the 1 pound pack of the Beyond Waldo. So if you buy the pack of this, Art, you could actually, that was a close Waldo encounter. So I was just saying, buy the pack of the Beyond Beef and make it yourself. Here's a brand, Gardein. I think it's slightly more upscale than maybe the previous one here. This is the meatless chicken strips, another one of Art's favorites. And the thing is, it's kind of interesting because we get some decent ingredients here like ancient grains, millet, quinoa, amaranth, fantastic, but they're using soy protein. It is non-GMO and non-expeller pressed canola oil, so not the best, but better than, what was the name of this one? Better than the Morningstar one. And then they have something called Gardein breakfast bowls. And see, once again, a lot of ingredients here. They're using canola oil, non-expeller pressed in a lot of regions here. And they have a bunch of preservatives, so not the best again. Let's talk about frozen acai really quick. Be very careful when you're buying frozen acai because a lot of times it has added sugar to it. This is different. This is actually a frozen acai bowl, and it has bananas in here, but also honey and canola oil, which is non-expeller pressed. When you buy frozen acai packets, buy the ones that are unsweetened. They actually have zero sugar. They have them at Trader Joe's. They have a version at Whole Foods called Sambazon. Then make your own at home. Add bananas to that. Add a little bit of almond milk, coconut milk, almond butter. That's the way to do it. Never buy the pre-made ones because they're loaded with sugar. This has 19 grams, some of which comes from the banana, but I don't know how much honey they're adding here. Okay, now let's talk about frozen vegetables really quick. Now, some frozen vegetables freeze better than others. It's always good to have frozen peas and corn on hand because when they're out of season, you can really tell very little difference between the fresh one and the frozen one. But other ones like cauliflower and broccoli get really mushy when you freeze them. I wouldn't buy that. But they have the option now to buy zucchini noodles or zoodles, and I would not do that because when you freeze vegetables like zucchini, ice crystals form. Those ice crystals puncture the cell walls. So when this thaws out, the water from the cells runs out and you have a really soggy, mushy noodle, which ends up very sloppy and soggy. You don't want to do that. You want fresh zucchini noodles, or you can actually buy zucchini noodles fresh in the produce department. I think they have a decent deal on them at Costco if you don't want to do it yourself, but don't buy frozen. Now, the one you actually want to buy frozen is cauliflower. Why? Not to make cauliflower rice pilaf, not to make cauliflower fried rice, but for cauliflower pizza crust. Frozen cauliflower rice makes the best one, because what did I say? When the frozen vegetables thaw out, they get really wet. That's what you want for cauliflower pizza crust, because you want to wring out as much moisture as possible. So if you want to make the best one around that has no dairy and is grain-free and paleo, use my wife Desi. She has a grain-free paleo cauliflower pizza crust recipe. I'll put it in the description box below, and it uses frozen riced cauliflower. That's pretty much the only time we use frozen cauliflower. Otherwise, it's really soggy and isn't pleasant to eat. All right, obviously, Arby's doesn't make the Bobby approved list, but is there a healthy-ish French fry? Which is a really good question. Here at Walmart, there aren't too many options. You might gravitate towards this, the Alexa sweet potato fries. These are cooked in canola oil. It's not expeller pressed, so we always want to see that. But also, sweet potato fries, in my opinion, are sweet enough as is. They're adding 4 additional grams of cane sugar per serving. There is a total of 6 servings in here, so we're talking 36 grams or 24 grams of total added sugar here, which is completely unnecessary. So I would put this back, and actually if you go to Whole Foods, they have organic sweet potato fries cooked in expeller pressed canola oil, which is the better one, and they don't have that here. Is it a healthy fry? No, but it's healthy-ish, and it's certainly healthier than your Arby's seasoned curly fries. So
my question is,
yes.
why don't you just make your own?
So the whole point of the view is, can you find healthy-ish frozen food? And in case you don't want to cook and you want to buy, we're going to give you the best alternatives out there.
I can't really say I cook because
Right.
I'm sitting here with two.
So first, I'm not sure that's going to make the list. And then I actually didn't think I'd see anything decent from Healthy Choice, but they have a line called Power Bowls. And I looked at this one, falafel and tahini. It's actually not that bad, you guys. The ingredients are pretty real, very minimal filler. They're using canola oil. It's not non-GMO, and it's not expeller pressed. But that's the only bad ingredient here, which is pretty impressive. A little bit of soybean oil too, not the best. But it's actually better than, this is Fit Kitchen, and they're boasting all their grams of protein here, which is great, but I care about the ingredients too, not just about the protein, right? And for this one, they're using maltodextrin. What is maltodextrin? It's a food preservative. It also helps the food last longer on the shelf. It can help with creamy textures, but it's made from corn. Does it say non-GMO? No, so it's GMO corn. It's also high on the glycemic index because it's from corn, so it can spike your blood sugars. We have soybean oil here, GMO soybean. We have modified food starch, more GMO corn, natural flavorings, sodium phosphates, right? So the phosphates are not the kind of stuff you want to eat. You most commonly see them in lunch meat, but too many phosphates in your body is bad news. So this is like a major no-no, whereas the Healthy Choice bowl, the Power Bowl with falafel and tahini, a much better option. All right, before we end, I thought it'd be interesting just to check out the Walmart brand frozen foods. And you guys, I just snuck a peek here. Holy cow. So this is the chicken coconut curry. I fully expected bad quality oil, a bunch of fillers and preservatives. Are you kidding me, you guys? Look at the ingredients. Very clean. What kind of oil are they using to cook this in? extra virgin olive oil. No canola, no expeller pressed, extra virgin. No bad ingredients in this. This is the chicken coconut curry. The Mediterranean-inspired chicken, 18 grams of protein. Once again, minimal ingredients, extra virgin olive oil, not one preservative or filler in here. Holy cow, so $4.98? I did not expect that, you guys. Once again, just read the ingredients. Once you learn to train your brain, you're like Neo in the Matrix. You can spot the good from the bad. You know who has a really interesting frozen food selection is Trader Joe's, and we're going to do a video from there in the future. I don't know how, because they kick us out every time we go there, but we'll figure it out. In the meantime, in the new podcast called Bobby Approved, the Flav City Shopping Experience, which is coming out in about 2 weeks, we did one of our first episodes at Trader Joe's reviewing every single frozen food there. So I'll put the link down below in the description box. Subscribe to the podcast, you guys. It's going to be every Tuesday. Art and I walk around the grocery store having a good old time and not, I repeat, not getting kicked out.
What's on your Tuesday?
Nothing, Art. Art doesn't listen to anything I say, you guys. That is it. The frozen food review is done. You guys, I got to say, above my expectations. I mean, we're living in a pretty exciting time that even here at Walmart, there is some really good options for healthy food, ranging from pizza to breakfast to dinner. They got you covered. Just read the ingredients, you guys. Once again, don't trust that pretty picture on the front. Once you read the ingredients, once you train your brain, they can't fool you. So that is it, you guys. Do us a favor. Like, subscribe, and share. These videos are a beast to make, and we do them every week for y'all. We got 2 more of those videos going below us right now. But Art and I will see you very soon. And we say it too like we always do. Hashtag keep on cooking. Mad love and peace from the frozen aisle.